It is Friday morning, and across the southeast, in fact, across all of Nigeria, people are waking up with a mix of confusion, anger, disbelief, and a very fragile thread of hope. The headline circulating everywhere says, Nnamdi Kanu will be released from Sokoto prison, and here is how. To the average Nigerian, this sounds impossible. A man sentenced to life imprisonment on Thursday secretly moved to a maximum security prison in Sokoto on Friday and now talk of release on Saturday. Is this just false hope? Not quite. Today, Friday, November 28, 2025, we bring you verified details of a hidden strategy that suggests the game is not over. It has simply changed levels. Welcome to this special deep dive broadcast. We do not just report headlines, we connect the dots the mainstream media avoids. Before we go deeper, if you find smart political analysis valuable, please smash that like button and subscribe. Let's get straight to the gist. The biggest revelation came late yesterday. Governor Alex Otti of Abia State broke his silence, carefully worded but explosive in meaning. He said, some agreements were made which were dependent on quick dispensation of the matter at the Federal High Court. Listen to that again. Agreements were made. This is the key. Governor Otti is telling the country that Kanu's conviction, yes, even the life sentence, was part of a pre-agreed political script, not a random decision. A necessary step. Here is the logic. The Nigerian president has the power of pardon, prerogative of mercy, but you cannot pardon someone who is still on trial. You can only pardon a convict. So, the theory, backed by Otti's confidence, is simple. Let the court deliver judgment. Let the conviction be recorded, then open the door for a presidential pardon as part of a national reconciliation deal. And then Governor Otti said something even stronger. Judgment having been delivered, the alternative resolution will now kick in. He is telling his people, don't panic about the life sentence. It was an administrative step in a larger agreement. Now, let's move to the most confusing part of this whole story. Why Sokoto? Why move him to the far northwest? Yes, part of it is isolation and pressure, but there's a deeper, unintended consequence. Sokoto is currently dealing with the rise of the Lakrawa, a dangerous armed group spreading from the Sahel. They have launched several attacks across the northwest, including education and security targets. By placing Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto, the federal government has accidentally placed a massive security burden on itself. Because here is the reality. If the Lakurawa attempt an attack on that prison, the same way armed groups have attacked facilities in the past, and anything happens to Nnamdi Kanu, Nigeria enters crisis mode. The southeast would erupt. Conspiracy theories would multiply instantly. The government would face nationwide instability. Security analysts are already warning, this Sokoto decision is not sustainable. The risk is simply too high. Meaning, the government may have no choice but to release him or move him to something like a controlled house arrest just to avoid a national disaster. In this scenario, danger becomes leverage. While politicians move their pieces, the lawyers are not sleeping. Barrister Aloy Ejimakor has already filed an appeal with a technical but powerful argument. You cannot try a man using a law that has been repealed. If the Court of Appeal agrees that the 2013 Terrorism Act was no longer active when the charges were filed, the entire sentence collapses. But today, the drama went deeper. Another lawyer, Kanu's former counsel, released a blistering public statement. He accused the current legal team of being disorganized and focusing more on social media than actual law. This internal fight is messy, but ironically, it adds pressure, because the more chaotic the legal front becomes, the more likely the solution shifts away from courtrooms and toward political negotiation. We need to step back and ask an uncomfortable question. Can secret agreements with the federal government be trusted? History is complicated. Some deals have failed and people paid a price. But Nigeria also has a pattern of eventually rehabilitating agitators. Asari Dokubo, Gani Adams, Sunday Igboho. The real question today is President Bola Tinubu willing to sign that pardon paper? That is the hinge on which this entire story swings.
So what happens next? A meeting between Southeast governors and President Tinubu. This will be the moment the agreement moves from theory to execution. The appeal court hearing date. If the legal angle gains traction, everything shifts. The security situation in Sokoto. If the Lakurawa intensify operations, the government will be forced to rethink keeping Kanu there. The truth is simple. Nnamdi Kanu is in a cell today, but the keys to that cell are political, not judicial. And right now, those keys are sitting openly on the table in Aso Rock. What do you think? Do you trust Governor Otti's secret agreement? Or do you think Kanu will remain in Sokoto for much longer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Stay informed, stay safe. This is Truthline Africa.